How do you communicate with someone when you have a language barrier? Welcome back to Translation Timeout. Today we're going to talk about communication scaffolds. In today's handout, you'll look at a bunch of different scenarios and figure out what scaffolds could help you communicate better. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment below or email me at translationtimeout@gmail.com. So let's pretend we're in a restaurant and the menu's in many different languages. Do you recognize any of these words? Maybe one of them? I need a scaffold or some extra support, so I'm going to ask the waiter to read these out loud for me. And he says, soup, tuna, and Saft. Okay, so that helps with one of the words, but I still don't understand Saft. I'm going to ask the waiter again, and he says it louder and slower. Saft. But it still doesn't help because I don't know the word. So I'm going to ask for a picture. Okay, this is interesting. So we learned that soup is soup, Saft is juice, and tuna, well, I thought they were talking about a fish, but it's actually the Spanish word for prickly pear. Luckily, I had this extra context before I ordered. So maybe that was a little cheesy, but it demonstrates why scaffolds are important. When we just throw a bunch of language at people that they don't understand, they get confused, they make incorrect choices, and it makes otherwise simple tasks very frustrating. I gave two examples of scaffolds with the menu, reading text, and adding pictures. These are great in many situations with international athletes. If you're handing out notes, read through it with them and add pictures to enhance the meaning of the text. Or you could use subtitles or transcripts with videos to give more context and help players solidify meaning. Another great scaffold is modeling, which means that instead of just telling people what you want them to do, you also show them. So everybody, I want you to jelentkezz. And if you don't speak Hungarian, but you still understood that I wanted you to raise your hand, that shows you why modeling is so awesome. This can be especially great for drills or anytime you need a player to do something. Act out what you want someone to do as you're saying it, so even if they don't understand the exact words, they can at least make an educated guess based on your motions. I've mentioned in a few other videos that English learners need more time to process language, so anytime you can give them information in advance, it's a huge advantage for them. This is a scaffold called previewing. You could preview interview questions, you could preview notes before a game. Just give them that extra time so that they're more prepared to participate when they're thrown into a group of native English speakers. Then there's sentence frames. These are great when you want a player to contribute to a discussion or write something, but they need a little help organizing their thoughts. Frames allow them to focus on the meat of their ideas instead of stressing over how to form a complete sentence because it's modeled for them. They just have to drop their answer into the frame. Another very important scaffold, because we know that English learners need more time to process language, is breaking things down into smaller, more simple chunks of information. For example, if you have multi-step instructions you need them to follow, start with the first step, make sure they understand that before moving on to the second. If you have a very difficult word, break it down before continuing with the rest of your story. If you're talking about someone hustling and moving their feet, you may want to stop and let your player know, by the way, that means move quickly. Otherwise, they might get stuck just trying to figure out what that means and miss the end of the story you were telling. All these scaffolds will be really helpful in communicating with someone who has a low English proficiency, but of course I have to mention that there will always be times where it's most efficient to use their native language. For example, if it's a legal document or something else is very complex, you can only simplify it so much in English before it loses meaning. So this can also be considered a very helpful scaffold for your English learners. Scaffolds are great ways to meet players where they are in their language development and promote learning, so you can communicate even before they achieve high English proficiency. When you're talking with your players, you can use different techniques like visual aids, modeling, first language support, and simplifying your words and instructions for enhanced understanding. In the description, I've included an assignment with several situations you might run into with your players. You're going to choose the types of scaffolds you can use to improve communication and then come up with your own examples. Let me know if you have any questions and stay tuned for my next video where I'll talk about working with translators and interpreters for language services. Thanks for watching and see you again soon.